So XRP won the lawsuit, and it feels like only a month ago we were like in a bear market and crypto was going down. Even though if you're subscribed to this channel, you know that we've been in a bull market since I received that vision in prayer to Jesus, when I received a vision of me turning on, come on and pump it up. You gotta pump it up. No, I had this vision of me in a breaker room, and it was like I was turning on every single asset class, initiating a bull run. And that was months ago. We've been in a bull run for a long time, but right now we're in like the pump it up narrative. XRP just won the lawsuit, and 31 days ago, right? 32 days ago, I released a video, and I don't talk about XRP that much. Like, I have had a couple visions, literally visions from God. I'm not making this stuff up, okay? Of XRP in the past, and I haven't really talked about it for a long time. 1 month ago, when crypto was down, I asked God, I was like, hey, if XRP loses, we're kind of screwed. Like, just like if you have money in crypto, it's going to drop, right? You'll see the whole market plummet 80 or 90% if XRP loses. So I was praying one day, and I try and live a praying and fasted lifestyle. I try and keep my sword sharp. And so one morning I was like, God, please talk to me about XRP. And I was getting nothing for hours. I'm not kidding you. From like 5 a.m. till noon, laying in bed, waiting on God to talk to me. Finally, I was like, giving up, dozed off. I heard the Lord say to me this: now is a great time to buy it. He said that to me pretty much exactly 1 month right before XRP won the lawsuit. And if you've been following this channel, I publish most of the things that I hear in prayer on this channel. And I always do tell you, hey, look, okay, I'm just a random guy on the internet. I am just sharing my walk with God and Jesus. And I know a lot of people don't believe in God. A lot of people don't believe in Jesus. A lot of people believe all of this stuff just magically appeared out of nowhere. And they don't believe in a benevolent creator who gives us free will, which also means that there's crap in the world. But he loves us so much that he came and paid for all the crap and paid for you and me so that we could be free, so that we could have eyes to see. His name is Jesus. He's awesome. And when you hang out with him, I had this illustration earlier today. It's like when you're like a kid and you're at home and you like put all the chairs in the living room, you get some blankets and you build a fort, right? You build a fort. Thank you, Lord. Yeah, you like build a fort in the living room. You put like a blanket over it. You put some pillows up to it, and you just get underneath and you play. Play whatever you want. Pretend like you're knights in a castle. You built a really cool fort in your living room, and it's like you do that with Jesus, and then you're in like that fort with him. He's like, hey, let me tell you a secret. The secret place is where you get secrets. So like he'll be like, hey, now is a great time to buy it. That's where like this kind of stuff for me personally comes from. It's never, ever, ever the goal of me hanging out with God. It's never the goal to get from him. It's because of who he is. Sometimes that's easier said than done. We have tough lives to live. We have bills to pay. And even if like, let's say all your financial needs are met, like life is tough. You could live on the opposite side of the planet of all of your family, right? Like you could, there's just like life is tough. It's hard, right? If it's easy, good for you. But life is tough. It has its challenges. And if you're growing, life should never just be easy, right? If you're developing as a person, there should always be some kind of an internal growth. Christian, non-Christian, like growth is a part of life. But that's what I want to start off with, is that Jesus Christ is not a fictional character. We are spiritual beings having a human experience. We're not human beings that occasionally have spiritual experiences. It's the other way around. We are made in God's image. We've been given God's spirit, and we have a body. We're here Some people like to use the word assimilation, and I think that's accurate vocabulary with the correct understanding. We're not like in a simulation like a lot of people say we are nowadays, where you're just one of a billion, quadrillion computer programs, because all the world's most brilliant brains have decided that has a very significant logical fallacy attached to it, because who created that simulation? Who created that simulation? Who created that simulation? Eventually, you have to get to a place where you're either at ground zero or you're at like the last iteration of a simulation. And I think on top of that, there's other fallacies, but people have generally agreed that we're not just in a simulation like a computer program, but if you use the language to understand that we are in an earthly space, okay, we have 5 senses. I haven't even remembered the last time I counted them all, but they're almost all on your face, right? Yeah, we're here, but God is here too, and he wants us to be much more in tune with him and his spiritual world. He said, my kingdom come, my will be done. That's not really what he said, thy kingdom come, thy will be done. But he's basically saying is like, get the spiritual kingdom of heaven here in your life and in the world around you. There are people. There is an enemy. And people have all different types of desires, wills, motives, intentions. Not always great. A lot of them are bad. But he's like, my kingdom is a kingdom built on love. And there's a quote from Alexander the Great who said something like, what did he say? It was like Charlemagne, myself, Genghis Khan, we all built our empires on war and conquering. But Jesus Christ built his empire on love. And even now, thousands of years after his death, there are billions of people on earth that would die for him. There's something really powerful about that, right? Like, it is a good kingdom. It's a really good kingdom. And it's not just an idea, but it's actually like, yeah, it's just new life, literally. So, anyways, we had XRP. That's fun. And I think this is all just another big part of this overarching narrative of turning the page, a new chapter for crypto. If I'm not mistaken, again, I've been camping, I've been out, I've been playing golf. Like, I haven't been watching the news. I feel like I've kind of needed to just enjoy some summer. But, we're seeing new things with the SEC. XRP just won. That's a huge milestone for crypto. The BlackRock ETF. A lot of people will say things like, buy the rumor and sell the news. And I think that's, for do whatever you want. Find your strategy, right? None of this is financial advice, yada, yada, yada. The point that I want to make, though, is that, like, I don't think this is just like a nice little passive news story that BlackRock, an $8.8 trillion company, well, assets under management. And it's probably their off balance sheet is probably way bigger than that. But that's not just like a nice little fairy tale. They don't just say that to become a news story for a month or two and then disappear. Like, I do think we're starting to see the shift, the paradigm shift. And what's so cool is that, like, God has been, if I can say this and it not sound arrogantly, like, he has been speaking to me and using me as a mouthpiece for him in this subject for a while now. And we have literally like a flawless accuracy. Sure, there's a couple things that haven't come to pass, right? I had a vision one day when I was on top of Mount Pico in Azores, Portugal. I could feel the heat of the volcano underneath me. I'm not kidding you. I'm really high off the ground, okay? Like really, really high in the sky, and it's cold. So I find a little rock where volcanic heat is coming up. And as I'm sitting there, I felt like this rhema, like spiritual insight just hit me across the face. It was like God was saying, he was like, appreciate this moment in time while you can hike this mountain. Because soon from now, you're not going to be able to. It's going to blow. Now, what is soon, right? What is soon for God? He is outside of space and time, but he yet holds it in his hand. But yet his spirit dwells within it. Soon for him is, like a month for us is a long time. For him, that is a blip in the radar. That's like nothing. And the next day I had a vision as well. I went to take a nap, didn't even fall asleep yet, just literally lay down, closed my eyes, and I saw the thing explode. And I know what it looks like when a volcano explodes because I've seen it in Mount Fuego in Guatemala. That was probably 11 or 12 years ago now, but I knew exactly what it was. It was a second confirmation to the word that God had given me. So that doesn't come to pass. The craziest, like a couple crazy crypto things that I have heard in prayer, and I've always mentioned this in every single one of my videos. I'm like, this is going to sound so stupid, but yes, I did see the ridiculous meme coin, and we could just choose one of them, like Shiba Inu. I did see it go into the penny range in prayer. And I'm like, have some wisdom, people. First of all, I'm just a guy on the internet, okay? Think about what that means. But secondly, that also means that the dollar is donezo if that ever happens. So like, don't be too excited that you could have whatever, because that just literally means that the dollar's done. And it also probably means that there's some kind of a cyber issue. But the point being is like, there's that. Another one, Terra Luna Classic, right? Do Kwon and Luna. I mean, dude, tons of people globally got screwed from that project. And I do feel like God has called it a revival project. This thing will, from the dust and from the ground, come back up to life and become huge. And I say these things and I'm like, hey, they haven't come to pass. They could take some time. And I don't know how long that is, but these are just things that I have seen in prayer. I don't know. I've lately had backlashes from people on all sides of the globe, here in Europe, because I'm married internationally, also in the States. Just people telling me like that I'm wild and provocative and a little crazy dude on the internet, and they're right. But so is God. God is right. Can't stifle the ministry of Christ because people don't get it. Like, it's not my job to convince people. I'm just, if you're still watching this, which I don't know how many people will, that's just the scenario, right? And I'm just trying to share what I hear when I skip food for sometimes a couple days and God shows up and tells me something, right? I was a reprobate. I was an absolute piece of crap human being before Christ. I was like a guerrilla marijuana farmer in upstate New York. I robbed tons of people and businesses, and I sold alcohol, and like I did so much stuff that was just absolutely bad. I thought evil was good. I thought good was evil. I thought right was left. I thought up was down. Like, I was so lost and confused. And eventually I realized, oh, I suck. And I was like, God, if you're real, I need to know you. I need you to reveal yourself to me. And I prayed that late into the night, and around 1 a.m., boom, I had a face-to-face encounter with Jesus Christ. So I gave my life to him. You know, the Bible does say, though, is that blessed are you who believe without seeing. It's a testimony to your faith, right? I didn't have faith. I needed proof, right? I needed God to show up and to prove himself to me. I didn't have faith. But God commends faith. Without faith, it's impossible to please God. He's a rewarder of those who diligently seek him. Yeah, so eternity is a long time. I don't like preaching about the negative sides of the reality in the gospel, but the gospel is true. Like, God's goodness demands that he has judgment. Like, the goodness of God demands that he has judgment. And there are people will spend eternity in hell if they never meet Jesus Christ, and if they never come to know him, and if they never embrace him and what he did for them. Now, I do believe in a very sovereign God. And as I mentioned, there is a spiritual world beyond this physical world. And I personally am in this camp, and you can write your theological book in the comments below. I'm probably not going to read it, but I am in the camp that I do believe, I'm going to piss off a lot of people here. I do believe that even after death, there is a split window and a split moment where Jesus still gives people the choice. I'm just going to say that. I'm going to say that. He paid for that right. He paid for that ability to do so. But he is good, and he is a sovereign God. He is a good God. The problem that I have with God, with Christ, actually, is Christians. So it's not actually a problem with Christ. I think if Christians actually lived the way that they should, if you really do believe in heaven and hell, or a God who created all this and died for people, you should probably tell some people. You should probably not overthink your Instagram post, and you should simply post a loving message that says, Jesus is there for you if no one else is. Something like that. Just came up with that off the top of my head. Like, you should probably tell people that Jesus is real. You should probably, swallow your pride, and what are they going to do? Say, no, thank you. Great. I think I've gone on long enough. Crypto's pumping, but hell is still on fire. What are you going to do about it? What are you going to do about your recent little crypto pump? That's what I have to say. Having said that, let me pray us out. Jesus, we are specks of dust who know how to breathe, but you call us by name and you died for us. And that says a lot about how much value you see within us. God, I pray that we would swallow our pride, that we would get over ourselves. Father, I just release freedom in the air, freedom in the atmosphere. I pray, Father, for your forgiveness, for your love, for your compassion, and just that people would know you, the one true living God. I heard the word steward really quick. I pray that we would be good stewards, somebody who knows how to manage, somebody that is not wasteful, somebody that knows how to grow and increase. Yeah, I'm going to leave it at that, and we will see you in the next video.